A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Mark chapter 8, verses 1 to 10. Passage taken from the Message version of the Bible. At about this same time, he again found himself with a hungry crowd on his hands. He called his disciples together and said, "This crowd is breaking my heart. They have stuck with me for 3 days, and now they have nothing to eat. If I send them home hungry, they will faint along the way. Some of them have come a long distance." The disciples responded, "What do you expect us to do about it? Buy food out here in the desert?" He asked, "How much bread do you have?" 7 loaves, they said. So Jesus told the crowd to sit down on the ground. After giving thanks, he took the 7 bread loaves, broke them into pieces, and gave them to his disciples so they could hand them out to the crowd. They also had a few fish. He pronounced a blessing over the fish and told his disciples to hand them out as well. The crowd ate its fill. 7 sacks of leftovers were collected. There were well over 4,000 at the meal. Then he sent them home. He himself went straight to the boat with his disciples and set out for Dalmanutha. The Gospel of the Lord. Reflections on the Gospel according to Mark chapter 8 verses 1 to 10. The readings are about the abundance that comes from God. This is what salvation means: the fulfilling of all our needs, spiritual, emotional, social, and physical. The Gospel brings us a scene which is a kind of a parable that Jesus stands for: the compassion of God and His desire that the needs of all be supplied. And again, people who have dedicated themselves to caring for the hungry and homeless have found what they needed up on their doorstep. There is a crucial element in today's gospel that we cannot overlook. It was not Jesus but his disciples who distributed the food. In our world, there is an abundance. Food production outpaces population growth. If there is hunger, malnutrition, and other unmet needs, it is because we, God's stewards, are failing in our task of distribution. If there is hunger and suffering, it is not the work of God, it is our failure to work. Every day is a time of giving. We could ask ourselves, to whom are we giving? With whom are we sharing what we have or can afford to buy? Perhaps we could widen the circles this year with gifts that mean life or death for the receivers. Beneficiaries who will never know who their benefactors are and who will not be able to give anything back. Jesus' way of giving so quietly that the left hand does not know what the right hand is doing.